Hey y'all, happy Saturday. So I am having a dilemma today. So I'm sitting outside, letting my fur babies do their thing and trying to figure out what am I going to do with my hair. So for any of you that watch any of my videos, generally most of the time I have braids in. I have worn braids for a very long time. Started wearing braids when I was a little kid. My mom did my hair because, that's what you did back then. And I've always had really, really long, thick, a lot to do hair. So it's a lot to deal with. By the time I got to high school, I had nagged my parents to let me get a perm. Worst decision I could have made. So way back when, many, many moons ago, I got my first perm. And it was tragic because the lady that did my hair, sweet old lady from church, anyhow, she had one of those where she would do your hair at her house and the kind of kitchen thing. Anyway, she was doing a couple people hair at the same time. Well, me being a little kid, and as much as your parents tell you not to scratch and all this other kind of good stuff before you get a perm, I mean, again, I was a kid. Nobody's really thinking don't scratch your scalp 2 or 3 days before you have to get a perm. I didn't know anything about basting my scalp, and my mom had locks back then. So, again, it's not a conversation that was actually had. So anyhow, nevertheless, I'm, at this lady's house getting my hair done. And of course, it looked great. My head hurt like hell, but I woke up the next day with my hair matted to my head. I had really bad chemical burns. So of course, that led to me having to go get treatment and scrubbings and cleansings and all this other stuff that I should not have gotten my hair permed. Worst decision I could have made. Nevertheless, it took me forever and I was in so much pain. My grandmother was like, just bring me my grandbaby and I'll fix it. Mind you, I'm, a teenager, but my grandma fixed my hair. Loved her for that. So, old-fashioned remedies, the whole nine. Great. Got me back on track. Unfortunately, like my hair just never really was the same. Like it never would grow past a certain length no matter what I did to it. Like it just was a whole thing. So I went back to wearing my braids and whatever else to get my hair back healthy and all that good stuff. Fast forward, now it's the 90s. I'm in my wannabe before hot girl era, right? That was even a whole thing. I started doing like weaves and all this other kind of good stuff. Still doing my braids, but when I wanted to take it out and be cute and fancy for certain occasions, I would do sew-ins and, all those other kind of protective styles, which was good for me. Okay, so because I had been braiding for a long time, I was even braiding other people's hair, right? I was doing box braids, I was doing zigzags, and you name it, I was doing it and getting my little coin on the side because, that's what people were doing back then. I was braiding my brother's hair, my cousin's hair, and anybody else's hair. And especially if I was doing your hair for free, my brother and my cousin, they were my little guinea pigs. They would come and expect to get 6 or 8 little braids going back, nothing fancy, so they could up and go. I would have them in my chair, and by the time they were done, I had a whole pattern design and zigzags and swirls and, everything else. They loved it, but they already knew when you sat in my chair, I was just going to play in your head all day until I did something that I thought was just super awesome. Nevertheless, so we did that for a while as long as they were braiding their hair. And, that got me to be able to see other people and do their hair. And, way back when I had this notion of, I'm going to just be a braider, kind of like my little hustle on the side. Nevertheless, I was in school at the time and it was just way too much. So anyhow, they cut their hair off and did the whole guys were going bald, and that was the cool thing to do. So that ended that because I guess he just got tired of the maintenance with getting your hair braided, which I can appreciate. So I still braid my hair, and again, I was pretty much wearing my hair out once a year, if that, like my anniversary or something special. And because my braids were so long, typically like down to my butt and below there, it was hard to put a wig on top of that, so I would have to take my braids out. Again, once or twice a year. You might have saw my hair out for maybe for a month, and I went right back to my braids because me and maintaining hair every day and detangling and all that other kind of stuff was just too much to be doing. And I was much too busy between working full-time and going to school. It's a lot. So last year, again, probably somewhere around COVID, I was thinking about doing SisterLocs or microlocks or something, like either or. I couldn't make up my mind. So nevertheless, I kept thinking about it, and it was just like, I've never done them for myself, don't really know how to do it. And so of course, like anything else, I went to YouTube University and started watching all kind of videos and learning the history and the do's and the don'ts and what you're supposed to do. And It was just information overload. So anyhow, last year I had dyed my hair like a crimson red, and I was doing the whole 2-strand twist because I wanted to start my locks out that way with a 2-strand twist, and they have like the fullness. So I like that look. It looked really cute, and again, it wasn't bad to manage, but several months in, my hair still wasn't locking. So I just got frustrated, and I went back to my braids. Of course, that's my go-to style. So anyhow, I did my braids, no problem, whatever. Yeah, I'm right back to trying to figure out what to do with my hair. So I took my braids out in July, and I've been rocking the 2-strand twist. At first I was doing a chunky twist and like putting product in to like make it coily, and then I would take it loose in the morning so I could head to work, and it was cute. The problem with that is this is Florida, so it's hot. Okay, so the humidity, I would get my hair all cute and get it ready. It's down past my shoulders before I leave my house. Get to work, and it is a afro, kinky, coily, looked great, but it was a whole mess, and I just couldn't do it. And the shrinkage, as you can see now, like when I first, did my hair, it was still wet and whatever, looked great past my shoulders, but now I'm sitting outside. Here comes the shrinkage, because it's just that hot. So I thought, okay, I'll do the smaller twists. So I've done these smaller twists, and it's been a couple weeks. It's about 320. My plan was to try to keep it like this until I can get through August and try to decide if I'm going to either try to do SisterLocs, find somebody, whatever the case is, or even micro locks. The problem is, I don't know if I have a whole month and a half in me to try to get through later September, October. Y'all, so I called a couple of locticians, and you know what they told me? Not that I expected anything different. The cheapest method, of course, is to do the big chop to kind of lessen the price. Well, I'm too vain for that. We can't do the big chop. Like, I like my hair length, and no, that's not what we're doing. Anyhow, I thought, well, if I do the lock extensions, I can add on and do all this other good stuff. The price that she gave me to do lock extensions and to start out with 2-strand twists to do like instant locks was nearly $2,000. I was like, I don't think so. Like, that's my mortgage. I can't. Okay, fine. So she said, well, you can do your own hair, and then we could split, the size of your 2-strand twists that they are now, and make them smaller to give you the volume. Why she told me, and which I can understand, the price is the price, $725 roughly. Ma'am, I love your work, and it's beautiful. And while I can appreciate it, because again, if I was going into Neiman Marcus and anywhere else, the price is the price, which I can understand. Except I can't explain trying not to pay my car notes for a couple months or my mortgage for a month to get my hair done. I just can't do it. So now my dilemma is, do I color correct it myself? And after watching 32,000 videos, like most people that went to YouTube University, you get that little minor confidence you can do it yourself. So I'm sitting here for the last 2 hours debating, am I going to untwist my hair, wash it, treat it, condition it, and try to do these things myself? I don't know. But $725 I think is at least worth the try. So some people start out with a braid at the base and then do the 2-strand twist at the end. But my problem is, again, it's been a couple weeks, and of course, that's with it growing out. Like, all of this is untwisted. I don't know if I could do the whole interlocking thing because I'm really afraid of messing my hair up. But what do I do? This is a S.O.S hair call. Anybody else trying to do their hair themselves, and like it's a whole process? I don't know. Help us out. Let me know.